and welcome back to my channel. So today is the refilming of my foundation routine, right? Is that what I'm calling it? Yes, that's what we're going to call it. So it is my foundation routine that I've already filmed once, and the audio was horrible. Granted, I didn't take into consideration the fact that I have completely redone my beauty space and have a brand new filming setup. So with that being said, I'm projecting a little bit more so that the camera can pick up on my voice a little bit better. I can definitely tell that there's an echo. There may still be some audio issues with this one. I'm sorry. I'm doing the best that I can to try to make it better, especially with like the lighting and all that good stuff. It is a work in progress. I'm going to try to make this one better, but I unfortunately think for right now, this may be as good as it gets until I figure out how to make sound good. So with all of the mechanical nonsense out of the way, let's just go ahead and dive in to this tutorial. This is something that you guys had requested. I've had it requested a ton, and I realized I hadn't filmed this type of tutorial since May, I think it was, of last year. And I will say not a lot has changed since that time, but maybe some new products I am using. But as far as the technique goes, I still think it's pretty much the same. Disclaimer, I guess I should put out there, just because this is my routine does not mean it should be your routine. This is what works for me, and this is what I like. It is 10 pounds of makeup. Just keeping it straightforward, just keeping it honest with you guys, keeping it real. This is what I like. I like having a full cake face of makeup on. That's just who I am, and that's how I like to roll. That doesn't mean that you guys have to do the same to achieve this type of look. I'm just showing you how I personally do it. Granted, in my opinion, I think I do a pretty good job of keeping it not look so cakey. Why do my teeth look yellow? Because in person they're white. Dang light. What's happening? So with all of that nonsense being said, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, whenever I begin to get ready and get prepared to put on the cake face, I always start off by, for one, cleaning my face, and then moisturizing my face. So what I've already done this, so I'm not going to show you what I do, but I'll show you what I use. Start off by putting on some under eye cream, and the cream that I use is the Ole Henriksen Truth Banana Bright Eye Cream. I love this. This has definitely been a staple product that I've been using for a while. It's definitely brightened up my under eyes, and I needed that real bad. And then I kind of bounce around from facial moisturizer to facial moisturizer, and I'm like the queen of trial size things. Like, I love itty bitty trials like this. Yes, give them all to me. So this is the Boscia Cactus Water. I'm a really big fan of like gel consistency or gel type formulas. So a lot of the stuff that I use is gel based. Now let us begin the process. First things first, I do primers. I use two. That's not anything new. You guys know that. The first one that I put on is the One Heck of a Blot Primer. It says it's an instant perfecting power primer with shine block 12-hour blah blah blah. Basically what all that means is this is a mattifying primer, and I will put this in my T-zone because that is where I have issues with oiliness. And then I just rub it in. Okay. Oh, isn't this cute? My skin decided to have eczema break out again. I haven't had eczema in like a year. My skin has been doing so well. I haven't had a flare-up in such a long time, and now I can't get this one to go away. Do you guys have any tricks or things that you do if you have eczema or psoriasis or any of that? I have both, so I'm willing to try anything. So the next primer that I go in with is the Catrice Prime and Fine Smoothing Primer. This is not a new product. You guys have heard me talk about this one 800 times, and it is well worth the mention. And I put this also in my T-zone because that is where I have the biggest pores. Now, you're going to see me put 8 pounds of it on my forehead, and I use it to hide all of the wrinkles. It's really good for that too. And I kind of cake it on where this eczema patch is because it helps to like smooth that up too. And I put it in my laugh lines and everywhere. I hide everything. And then just rub it in. Ooh, she's smooth. Like, my skin already looks better. Okay, so now that we have primers on, we are ready for foundation. So the one that I'm going to be using today is pretty much the only one I have that matches me currently. So I'm using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. This is definitely a holy grail product for me. I love it so much. It is so amazing for oily skin, such as my own. And it just lasts so long and it looks so good, and I just love it. And I'm going to be applying this with the EcoTools blending sponge. This is the one, I love it so much. I like it more than the Beauty Blender, truthfully. I really do enjoy the Beauty Blender, don't get me wrong. I love that little egg. But I don't know, there's just something about this flat edge right here that just... Okay, so what I do is I sugar and I just pour it right on here. Like that. And then I just start pouncing it on. In my mind, I have no real technique to pouncing it on other than maybe doing it in like circular motions just to kind of spread everything out evenly and make it look as seamless and airbrushed as possible. I can't really explain it very well. I will just kind of show you guys in like a little bit of a sped up version of what I'm doing. That's really it. That's the fanciness to it. I'm just pouncing it on. Here we go. Definitely something to remember is to drag your foundation down your neck, like underneath of your jawline and down here, because you don't want to look a fool with your foundation being a different color, like me especially. I'm self-tanned right now, that's why I look orange. But but whenever I'm not self-tanned, I still enjoy a darker foundation. That's just how I like things. So I have to drag it down my neck so it's not as obvious that the foundation I'm wearing is actually too dark for my skin. So, pro tip. Okay, so the base is pretty much on, so this is what it looks like once we've reached the end of this step. So I'm just going to scoot that back on so I don't dump it everywhere. Now let's dive in with concealer. So the one that I use day in and day out is the Tarte Shape Tape. Mine is in the shade Light Medium Honey. Oh, I should probably tell you the foundation shade I used. I used Ivory Beige. So I always start underneath of my eye, make a little triangle like that, go on the other side, a little triangle like that, down the bridge of my nose, right here, here, and here. Now, this looks like a ton of concealer, but I never actually dipped back into the tube. So I just used what was on the tip of the doe foot, and I actually wiped some of it off. So it's not as much as it appears. And then I go in with the beauty sponge again and just pounce it all into place using that same circular motion to get everything nice and spread out evenly. So something that I do whenever I blend out underneath of my eye concealer is, you obviously just saw me do it, but I will kind of explain what I was doing. I always pounce out the cheek area and drag it upward to kind of, you know, give a lifted appearance. Then I will pounce it over top of my eye because I don't use an eye primer. I use concealer as an eye primer. Once I have gotten it over top of my eye, that's when I open my eye back up and I actually go underneath to pounce everything out. To me, it works a little bit better that way so I don't have a ton of caked up concealer underneath of my eye. And now that is complete. So now that all of that is on, I'm not going to cream contour because I've kind of been there, done that with you guys. I've made like, I think 2 separate videos on it. So we're going to skip over that for this video. So let's go ahead with setting the face. Very important. So I use 2 different setting powders, 3 technically, but 2 loose powders to set my face. The first one that I go in with is the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. I just have mine in the shade Naturally Neutral. Trick that I do, I've pointed this out in another video of mine, but I will point it out again in this video. To get all of the expression lines in my forehead to be as flat as possible, because I'm not about to set a wrinkle. Not happening. I want to look flawless. Grab the top of my scalp and yank her back. That is the most redneck thing I've ever said. And I don't make an expression, and I just flatten everything out once again. Grab the powder, and I press. Is this a lot of powder? Yes, it is. But also you guys have to remember, I have obscenely oily skin. Like, just not fair oily skin. So I put on a lot of powder, and it's what works for me. If you don't have oily skin like I do, you may not need this much powder. You may not even need powder at all. I put on this much powder because I want my face to last all day. Like, especially if I'm at work, I want it to stay. And it does with this method. So Judge me if you want, but bitch, I'm flawless. So then I do the exact same thing before I move on with setting the rest of my face. It's just basically pouncing out any of the little lines that may have formed. Oh no. I do not know how long I have not been filming. Uh-oh. Okay, you know what? Don't panic. We're going to continue setting the under eye. And then take this powder up onto the nose also. And a little bit down onto the cheek. I just kind of put it wherever I want, like, it to be brightened. And that is all of the loose powders in place. Okay, so next, I told you guys that I used 3 powders to set my face, and I was not kidding. The third powder that I used to set my face is this Mullins Natural Beige Conceal Imperfect. It's basically like a powder foundation. I just take a large fluffy brush like this. This is just how I prefer to do it. Dig in there. It's a freshly washed brush, so you gotta re-dirty it up a little. And then I usually start down here on my neck to kind of get the color right, and then I just go setting the rest of my face. Now I don't do dragging motions on my face. I kind of do like more pouncing and then swirling around, if that makes any sense, because I don't want to drag any of the product anywhere. So once I kind of have it pounced on, then I'll swirl. I always take my powders and whatnot into my hairline. Not everybody does that. It's because for a lot of people, especially with lighter colored hair, it will discolor your hair, and I totally get that. Since I was born with such an insane hairline, my hair is super thin around the edge of my hairline. So like, I have hair that comes clear out here, right here. I look nuts. And that's super thin. So I just kind of drag everything back, and it ends up looking okay. My best advice for you, if you are someone with lighter hair and you end up getting a bunch of makeup in it, is taking a makeup wipe or like a cotton pad with some micellar water, just something that's makeup removing, and just lightly dabbing it through your hair. It will get your hair a little wet, so you may have to use a blow dryer afterwards, but it's the best option that I know to get like discoloration and makeup out of your hair. Okay, so now that that is done, the next thing that I do is I take my Park Avenue Princess Sculpt palette, I guess is what this is called. I don't know. Really, you're just looking for more of like a tulip style brush where it is coming to a taper. This just so happens to be the Kat Von D Shade and Light brush that came out eons ago because it's a double-sided, and this side I actually use to contour because it fits so perfectly in there. So I go in with the 2 lightest shades to set underneath of my eye again. Yes, I'm doing it again. So I just kind of go in and press it gently. You can already see how that's brightened up this side a little bit. Then it is time to bronze. This is probably my favorite. Oh God, no, did you break? What I was trying to say before my bronzer decided to explode is bronzing is definitely my favorite part of the makeup process. I don't know what it is about it, probably because it's my incessant need to always want to be tan, that I love bronzing so much. So the bronzer that I use is this Marc Jacobs Tantastic Omega Bronze. It's the coconut edition one. And the bronzing brush that I have fallen in love with recently, I don't know where this has been my entire life. I was sleeping on this. This is the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH02 brush. So anyway, I use this brush to bronze up the face. There's nothing really fancy to the technique that I do as far as bronzing. I just take it all around the face. So I will show you guys. I'm going to speed it up a little bit because, like I said, it's really nothing fancy, but I'll let you see what I'm doing. Guys, I can go in bronzer literally all day long. Sometimes I have to stop myself. Because it's like, okay, you've got on enough now. Another thing that I do while I have my bronzer out, because I like to match my bronzer shade with my nose contour shade, I use this Morphe E30 brush. I will go in with the bronzer and I just take it down the sides of my nose. So you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm literally just taking it down the sides of my nose to kind of give the illusion that my nose is very straight. Thankfully, I was blessed with a pretty straight nose. Unfortunately, years ago, I had a 5-gallon bucket fall on my face and break my nose. So there is a little bit of crookedness up here. So that's basically what I'm looking to correct whenever I contour my nose. Now it's time to go in with a stippling brush. I like to go in once I have my bronzer on with this brush. This one is just, it's not a fancy one. Pretty much all stippling brushes look the exact same, like this. And I kind of see it as like the blending brush of the face. So once I have this far on, I literally will go and just blend everything together. So I go back in with the Park Avenue Princess palette, and I just go in with these contour shades. I prefer to use this one right here, Princess Cut, but I will use pretty much any of them, honestly. Like, I love them all. So I just kind of grab a little mixture here, put it on my brush, and then I kind of carve out my cheeks just a little bit. And then I do take it all the way around my face, and I always drag it down the sides of my trachea. Make it appear as if I have a really thin trachea. And underneath of my chin, especially on old double chin here. Then I go back in with the stippling brush and blend it buff. So now we're going to move in with blush. So the blush that I'm going to be using is also not a new product for this channel because it is my absolute favorite, and I've been looking all over the internet to repurchase it because I'm running low, and it doesn't appear that it's made anymore. So this is MAC's Eternal Sun Pro Longwear Blush. My favorite blush. I just love it so much. It is like coppery, warm, apricot-y, beautiful, looks like you're tan. And the brush that I apply this with is the JH04 brush with the Morphe Jaclyn Hill collection. And I just go wild on the brush, get it nice and coated. And I always smile and puff up my big old cheeks. I have massive cheeks. I know that. And I just kind of start here on the apple and work my way back. And I like a lot of blush, guys. I like a lot of blush. I don't know why, but I do. And I take some on the bridge of my nose right here because it just gives you like a sunburnt look. I know that's nothing like new or innovative, like a ton of people do that, but I think it looks cute. There! Back in with the stippling brush. So the next step in this process is I take the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus setting spray. This is just the coconut version, that's why it looks a little yellow. It's not old or disgusting, it's coconut. And I will spray down my face to set everything into place and kind of let all of these layers of powder melt into the skin to look very natural. So we're gonna put some on right now. Oh, I love that smell. It smells like sunscreen and beach and summer and happiness. Hello, hydration. Now that the Fix Plus has dried down a little bit onto my skin, it's time to highlight. So the highlighter that I'm going to be using today is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Opal. The brush that I'm going to be using is the JH09 brush. So I'm just gonna dive in here. Oh, shiza Manelli. You see that? That might be too much. Okay, and then I start by tapping it onto the top of my cheekbone and dragging it up. Oh, hello, Dolly. Booping it right here on my nose, on the bridge of my nose, a little bit on my chin, a pound of it on my Cupid's bow. You guessed it, we are going to stipple. And that is the base. That is basically how I do it. Nothing crazy fancy in my opinion. So I feel like I look very natural. I feel like I look airbrushed and my skin looks very smooth and flawless. And it's not. It is not. I have huge pores. I have something growing on the side of my face here. Whether it's eczema, whether it's psoriasis, whether it's a mutant, I don't know. So I went ahead and finished the rest of my face, but we still have one more thing left to do before the entire foundation routine is complete, and that is spraying this all over me. So this is the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. I'm sure you've heard of it. She's not new here. I basically take another shower in this. But that's it! That is everything for this foundation routine. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it informative and got out of it what you were hoping to. If you did enjoy this video, give it a big ol' thumbs up. Comment down below any tips or tricks that you guys have that helps you create the flawless face that you are looking for on a daily basis, because I would love to know what everybody else does. Hey, maybe it'll work for me too. So thanks again for tuning into this one. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel before you go. It would mean so much to me. That's going to conclude this video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.